Hey guys, how you doing? Hope everything is well. Yeah. So I figured I'd pop on. We'll do a little quick discussion about escaping tutorial hell. I get this question all the time. Small group. Yeah. So let me just jump into the bullet points and then we'll do a little Q&A. But before I do that, we should do a sound test. Ruby, 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 Ruby. Please let me know if you can hear me. Say in the comments, we can hear you. We can hear you. There's always a bit of a delay. So don't worry, I'm going to jump to the subject. But before I jump into the subject, while I'm waiting for you guys to confirm that you can hear me. 1, 2, 3. If you are new to web design development and you like to read, you can check out my book. Web design, you can get it on Amazon, link below. So you might want to check that out. If you're a total beginner, if you're like reading, that's an option for you. One of the things I like to do is talk about some random books that were important in my life. So here's a very important book, Book of Five Rings. This is required reading in Japanese businesses, at least it used to be. It's one of the ancient books of strategy. So highly recommend the Book of Five Rings. Check that out. And So if you guys are into vinyl, can you hear me? We can hear you. Okay, good, good, good. So if you guys are into vinyl, then you might want to try this album. This is Van Morrison Astral Week. Very melodic music, very cool music. One of the best albums out there. You can get it, of course, on YouTube. So here's the vinyl. Vinyl does have a different sound signature. Here we go. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much it. So let me just put this back. All right. I hope everything is well with you guys. Good, good. All right. Let's do it. I will do a little Q&A after I cover the topics here. So tutorial hell, if you don't know, is getting caught up in perpetual preparation to become a developer. Yeah, and so you just keep on buying more and more tutorials, keep on doing more and more tutorials. You do a tutorial, you don't quite get enough out of it. You go, I need to learn a little bit more. Then you buy another tutorial and you finish 10% of it and you go, I'm not digging this tutorial, so I got to do something else. And then you read online, oh, this technology here. You got to learn this. You got to learn this. So you go get a tutorial on that. And you start learning that, and then you get through 20% of that tutorial, and then you jump to another one. It's so common that people actually have given this phenomena a name, and that's tutorial hell. So I'm going to help you understand why people get into tutorial hell and how to get out of it. So if you haven't already guessed, the primary reason people get into tutorial hell is because of insecurities. They're afraid to jump into the game of development. That's the bottom line, really, at the end of the day. They're not sure, do I know enough? And it's all about insecurity. So with tutorial hell, that's what it is. That's what it is. You're hoping to learn that one special framework or that one language that's going to make the difference for you. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So the tips I'm going to give you here, 4 or 5, hopefully they'll help you to understand what the world of development is all about, really, and why tutorial hell is a waste of time. So let's just jump into it. Number 1, ask any expert in any field, whether it be software development, mixed martial arts, music, cinematography. I got the best bokeh game in the live stream, right? Anyway, whether it be any of these things, the fundamentals is key. So for you to land the job as a developer, as a coder, no matter what type of coding or development you're going to get yourself into, you're not going to get the job because you know a particular framework necessarily, or you know a particular language. It's just your mastery of the fundamentals. That's a key part of it. So you want to concentrate on those fundamentals. Why? Because at the end of the day, all the complex stuff that you see are just the fundamentals stacked on top of each other. Kind of like a hamburger. So concentrate on the fundamentals, number 1. So that eliminates a lot of things you may think you have to learn. You don't. Number 2, you can never learn it all. That's another thing you have to understand. There is no developer in the world who knows even 5% of what's out there. Even within their particular specialization, you may have somebody like myself who wrote Java professionally for years. I still use maybe 10, 20% of Java. It's hard for me to put a number on it. There was so much. Java is a big language, like so many of the modern languages out there. And there's so much out there, and you may, in your career or in your use with a particular language, you may only use like 10% of it. So the problem that we have today as aspiring developers and developers is not so much trying to find information. There's unlimited information out there today. The key today to being successful is knowing what to concentrate on. And I gave you that answer. Number 1, you concentrate on the fundamentals. And I've been at this game for 28 years, so I know a little bit about it, right? Number 3, tutorial hell is also related to people's concerns that some new technology has come out. And they got to learn this new technology or they're not going to find jobs. First of all, new technologies, that you see in the nerdosphere, typically don't percolate down into production for a while, if ever. Actually, most of the new technologies that come out will never go beyond niche application. I can tell you this from experience. So whenever you see a new technology come out, you shouldn't be jumping all over, oh my God, I got to learn this, because chances are it won't go anywhere, especially now. The main point in this third point is that in terms of coding development, the technology stacks have largely stabilized. The web stack, for instance, has really stabilized since 2012 or so, since HTML5. The HTML5 revolution, that was the last big change in the web. But the way we built web apps in 2014 and 15 is pretty much how we do it today, with some little things here and there. But generally speaking, it's pretty much the same. It's very stable. So don't worry about having to learn that new technology. So what you want to do, point number 4, is you want to let the job market, ultimately you want to get a job, dictate what it is you need to learn. So what I have people do in my mentoring program is I have them learn the fundamentals, then I have them build a demo site, then I have them go out there and do 2 to 3 small projects for freelancing, just to get their hands dirty with code. It's just kind of like when I was learning how to fight. My coach got us in the ring sparring, full contact sparring, as soon as possible, because that's how you really learn the craft. So your job as an aspiring developer, you have to go in there as soon as possible and jump into the real game. So you don't want to get caught up doing tutorial after tutorial after tutorial after tutorial. Let me add in a bonus point number 6. Your job as a developer is to be able to learn new things constantly. In fact, you're always doing that. It's unusual that you won't be learning new things. So that's where the fundamentals, going back to point number 1, the fundamentals are so important, because if you have a good grasp of the fundamentals, learning new technologies as you need to will be much, much easier. So yeah. It's, again, think about that. It's par for the course. It's common that you're going to be switching up languages, learning new things on the fly as a developer, whether you're working for a company or whether you are freelancing. So for example, a recent, somebody I was talking to who's just went through my mentoring program, in his job, if I recall, he was a Java developer, hired as a Java developer. And 6-7 months into it, they pulled him aside, said, "Listen, we need you to do something. You have to do it in Python, some system they have in the back office." So he learned Python, and Bob's your uncle, away you go. So no big deal. For me, in my career, when I was freelancing especially, my go-to language in the last half, I would say, was Java. It was Java. I love Java. But I would go into see a client for a contract rather, and I would determine the language I was going to use based on the needs of the job. And it's all kinds of factors that play into that. I won't get into that here. But oftentimes I would be learning new things based on the need of the job. And I wasn't too concerned. Oh, do I know this? When you're a professional developer, you just learn it a few days and you're up and running. So there you go. Those are my points. Number 1, to escape tutorial hell, stick to the fundamentals. That's the key. You can never learn it all. No single developer knows more than 5 or 10% of a particular stack they may be working on, let alone everything that's out there. Development has stabilized really in the last several years. So you don't have to be chasing the new technologies. Number 4, let the job market have a heavy hand in determining what it is that you're going to concentrate on. Let the job market do that. And remember, one of the main driving source of tutorial hell is fear of jumping in the ring. Don't worry, jump in the ring. You're going to learn so much by actually building something. And it could be even simple little things. You don't have to build the next Facebook or Instagram. You could put up somebody's WordPress template, integrate to Shopify or or integrate directly with Stripe or some other payment processor. Doesn't have to be complex, doing the web stack. All right. I think that's cool. I think I covered that. I hope you guys got something out of it. One last thing. People ask me. One of the things I used to do when I'm an audiophile to a certain extent. I'm not one of these crazy guys. An audiophile is somebody who chases high quality sound. Yeah. And so I've tried all kinds of different things, different systems, up until speakers that are worth $10,000 speakers. Let me tell you something. The law of diminishing returns kicks in with audiophile sound. Some people have the ears for it. Some people don't. So here's a nice baby introduction. Here's a Bluetooth speaker. Very cool. It's from Bang & Olufsen. It's their Bang & Olufsen A1. It's about $300, but it sounds really nice, really nice. And you can get two of them, and you can pair them, and you get stereo sound. And this battery will last you like 10, 20 hours. Nice little speaker. You're going to get kind of junior audiophile quality sound out of this. Pretty impressive. So that's my last little non-coding tip. So I'm going to do some Q&A let's jump into it. Let's see what we got. I got a super chat. All right. Appreciate it, Faz. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I hope, there we go. Hey, Arno, how are you, man? People spend 10 hours straight watching best 10 languages to learn in 2022 when they could have learned the basics of Python during that time. Also, it's not insecurity, in my opinion, it's laziness. Well, okay, I say it could be a little bit of laziness, but I still think insecurity is a big part of it. Welcome back. Will you be putting out a Java course? Probably not in the near future. I got a bunch of things I got to do for the mentoring program. If you go link below, you can take a look at it. That mentoring program, I actually started 2 years ago, just kind of quietly launched it to see how I like it. And we've had hundreds of people join it, and it keeps growing organically. So that's becoming my priority more or less in terms of what I do here. Let me go up. Let's see what we got. Hey, Jamming Coder, how are you? If you don't know, this is the official channel salute. I say code long and prosper. I stole this from Star Trek. If somebody can go like this without having to use their fingers to adjust their fingers, that's a nerd skill. And if you can do double guns, that's like high level nerd skills for sure. Sounds good. Sounds good. Good. Ruby, Bobby, my hair. Turn laser brains on. Yeah, one of the things I did is I put out a course on the lizard brain. Well, actually on the 2 operating systems of your brain, because people are having all these anxieties and fears. So I want to teach them how to deal with that. So the lizard brain training, you can see the link below. Lizard Wizard teaches you how your brain works, the 2 operating systems, why you have fears, why you get lazy, and and I teach you exercises that I learned in martial arts and meditation and business, in fact, that could help you deal with those situations. Appreciate the thumbs, everybody. That's good for the Google algorithms, What kind of projects should you build for portfolio? I have an e-commerce website that's completed. I'm also working on a personal website. That's good. Ultimately, if you have projects that reflect the type of job you want to get, that would be good. So if you want to get a job putting out e-commerce, then that would be good. But at the end of the day, really, if you can just show that you can do projects for third parties, other businesses, small business, whatever, that is worth much, much more than certifications. And I provide certifications. So I have my Studioweb platform, which I have many districts that use it for many years now. And we built a certification platform inside Studioweb that randomly sends questions to you, and you have to pass, you get your certification, et cetera, et cetera. Even though that has some value, I always tell people certifications are worth this much in the tech game, and real world experience is worth that much. So where should you concentrate, right? Let's see what Spirit Life says. Stefan, is knowing JavaScript really enough to get a front-end job? You have to know more than JavaScript. You have to know the web. You have to know HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, request response cycle. If you want to go pure front-end, you're probably going to have to learn a JavaScript library like React or Vue. I feel like we need to know much more when looking at applications. We need to know MERN stack, cloud services. No, it depends on the job. Depends on the job. You may find an employer that uses, vanilla JavaScript with, Python, Django on the back end, or they may use PHP vanilla, or they may use PHP Symfony, or PHP Laravel, or they may use JavaScript Node. It depends. It depends. Concentrate on the basics. Also, take some time, look at the job market, see what they're asking for, right? Don't forget to hit the like button. David X knows his stuff. Okay, I got that. Official docs are great. Good, good, good. Hey, how are you, Mr. Web Developer Ninja? Good. I'm glad I could help. Everything I teach and everything I talk about is based on personal experience. Everything. I'm 169 years old, so I have a lot of personal experience, some good, some bad. So I'm just trying to transfer that experience to you guys so you don't have to spend 160 years picking up this stuff. Hey, how are you, man? Double guns, Hunter. Bang. All right, good. Used to watch his tutorials living at my parents, got 6-figure, no degree. Oh, man. Hey, very cool, man. Congratulations. Glad to hear it. So 6-figure job, not bad, not bad. See, that's the great thing about the software development world. The demand for software developers just keeps increasing every year, and the supply is not keeping up with the pace of demand. So that squeezes salaries up. And also, it forces businesses and companies to not care nearly as much about degrees and certifications. They just want to hire, they're just desperate to hire somebody. In fact, if any of you guys or if anybody on this stream is into C# and you work with Microsoft Technologies, I have a friend of mine, they own a pretty successful company, and they're looking for some .NET integrations with their accounting package. I've been looking for people. If you know your stuff, send me an email, DM me, and I'll take a look at what you know. Appreciate it. Exactly. Only one thumb. We got 94 viewing, 63 thumbs, so we got 31 people freeloading. I went to Flatiron School and graduated a little more than you go. I haven't been trying to find a job since. Can you give me hope? I owe a lot of money for this. Yeah, sorry about that. As I said, in my mentoring program, we guide people after they do the fundamentals, build their demo site, go out, do 2 to 3 small projects for businesses for free. On the strength of that portfolio and that experience that you built, your chances of landing jobs will increase 162%. Yeah. There we go. I'm newly 50 and just started Amazon fulfillment center of outbound packer due to no longer being able to go OTR trucking, excuse me. I know nothing about computer or anything, but I'd love to prepare for AWS cloud. I would get into development first. Lots of opportunity AWS cloud and I guess managing these solutions. But the problem when you're a system manager, the trend is to make these systems easier to manage to the point where they don't need managers. Whereas development, that keeps growing where system managers keep shifting. So the old system management used to have network people, that all those jobs are gone now. But it's good, just my advice to you, Mr. Queen Rashid, I would do a little bit every day towards your goal, and you'll make progress. Greetings. Eternal praise to you for helping me become what I am. Respect. Hey, I'm glad I could help you, man. Congrats. I appreciate it. I always like hearing back from people, What if you haven't learned enough to jump into the real world of coding? Well, that's how you learn. You learn by taking on a simple project. The analogy I like to make is once you know I used to do a little bit of boxing. And once I knew the basics, the coach would have us jump in the ring. Now, the first guy you fight, you don't want to fight Mike Tyson. Bad move. First job you take on as a coder is simple. Do something simple. So if you're doing webs, just put up somebody's simple website or put up their WordPress site. Start simple. That's how you learn and gain confidence. But you got to get in there. I'm taking your web stack, and in the CSS course at the moment, I find myself taking notes a lot. Do you think note-taking matters that much? Yes, good. Whenever you engage with the material in some way, meaning taking notes or writing out code, etc., that's good. Now, here's a little bit of lizard brain training. We take in the world around us through our 5 senses, right? Touch, taste, smell, what we see, what we feel, etc. So the more senses you can activate when you are learning something, the more quickly your brain is going to comprehend it. So yeah, it's good to take notes, because when you're taking notes and writing, listening and seeing, you're activating 3 senses, and that extra sense you're activating will help with your memory. So yeah, good job. There is no voice. Oh boy. God, you guys hear me? Can you hear me? I think you can hear me. I think I would have gotten all kinds of people say you can't hear me. So, is Moondance on the Van Morrison album you showed at the beginning? No, this is not Moondance. Astro Weeks is the headline song on this one. Astro Weeks, Sweet Thing, those are 2 huge, huge songs. Young Lovers Do, huge songs. A lot of good songs on this album. But this is not the Moondance album. Check it out. It's on YouTube. See if you like it. Hey, Stef, is it necessary to learn backhand even if I'm focused on front end? I will learn just a little bit, just so you understand what's going on the back end. So if you start working on front end and you have to work with some back end developers, you know what they're doing kind of basically. Just a little bit, not too much. Just keep practicing and building, money comes. Exactly. He's the guy who knows. So you just gotta get in there. You gotta get in there. It's kind of like dating, you know. You got to go out there and start talking. You know, I'll assume you're a guy like me, applies to women. You got to go start talking to women and approaching them and getting rejected. If you want to develop your nerd lizard skills, there's a free newsletter-based course down below. It's like, I think 7 trials. Just take a look below. You can find it there. What camera do you use for YouTube setup, Steve? It looks amazing. Well, I'm Stef. Steve is pretty close. He's my cousin, but I'm Stef. Don't worry, I'm not offended. I'm just joking. But I'm using a cinema camera. That's why it looks good. I'm using a cinema camera, which is a professional camera. This is the Canon C70. Prior to that, I had a Canon C300 Mark II, I think it was, or was it 3? I think it was 3. And then prior to that, I had the, what did I have? C200, Canon. All overkill, by the way. This is used for, like, you can do Netflix shows with this camera. But it just makes my life easier. Or something to match my old transportation. Yeah, well, any type of development, just go to Indeed.com if you're in the States and just look at average developer coder job, JavaScript programmer job, average salary, entry level. And they'll tell you the numbers. It's somewhere like 80 to 95,000. So it depends where you live, of course, right? Where do you start if you want to begin? Start with the basics. I would start with HTML5. That's easy to approach. It will help you to start understanding code in general. And then from there you can go on. I think he is only looking to people that pay him for a response. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm answering tons of questions. I signed up for some courses. I see other paths that offer the ability to work on Upwork within a month. I don't see that path with your course. Am I missing something? Love you, thanks. Yeah, you are missing something. Nothing stops you. You know, I don't know which course you're on. You're on the solo learn courses or you're in the mentoring program. If things are going so well for you coding, why are you relying on YouTube videos for money? I'm not a coder anymore. I own a SaaS platform called Studioweb. Just look up studioweb.com and you see that I have many districts and schools who utilize my software. And I'm an investor, and so I do this for fun. Makes me a few bucks as well, for sure. It's good for advertising, I discovered. But at the end of the day, I'm fortunate enough I can do what I want. I'm learning Android development. Should I do a few simple apps or big project for my portfolio? I would do little apps, small, simple apps. I would do small, simple apps. How do people go about landing their first freelance client? Thank you for streaming. All the best. You have to get up your demo website. That's super important. Make sure it looks really good, because even if you're offering back end, they're going to judge you based on the look of the site. And your first few projects, I always tell people, if you have to, just offer it for free. Don't do huge projects for free, but do little projects for free, just so that you can get some experience. And then when people start using you, then word of mouth spreads and it just starts to happen. Would you recommend being a full stack developer, or it's better to specialize one? All types of development, it could be very useful. It could be very lucrative. That becomes more of a choice based on where you live and the job opportunities and what you like to do. Hey, no problem, Juan. I'm glad I could help. Well, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate the thumbs everybody gave me. Now he's biblical man living over the normal age of you mortals. Web dev, mostly front, is the easiest to get into. Depends. It depends. If you have back end, if you do front end only, there's the amount of jobs. If you go like vanilla, if you go like React, the jobs like this. If you go full stack, jobs are like this. So I always recommend learn light full stack, and then you can start deciding where you want to go. All right, well, send me an email or put a comment under this video. And and send me with your resume, and I'll take a look, see if your skills align with what they need. I wanted to be specific. Where do I start if I want to start as a software dev with no degree, sir? Thanks for much, channel. As I said, you have to show experience, and you show experience by building little projects at first, working your way up. Just put it in the comments under the YouTube, and I'll take care of that. All right, how we doing for people? Time, all right. Just got a 2-week paid work experience offer with a company making custom web apps for clients. I know JS and C#, but he recommends me look into Quasar framework, Signal R, and APIs. Is it too much? I haven't looked at those technologies. I haven't looked at Quasar and Signal IR, and APIs is no big deal. See what it's like. If you know your way around C# fairly well, you should be able to pick those things up within a week. So do it. If it's paid and they're willing to do it, take it. See, when you first start out anything, you gotta be flexible, All right, how we doing here? 38. Okay. I'm a factory worker who learned Python, but I want to get into OS development and learning C++. Is there anything you'd recommend learning alongside it? OS development is very specialized, so I would start looking at job opportunities in that regard, so you know what you're getting into business-wise, okay? Cool, I appreciate that. We can hear you. Good. I have sound. Good. So that was the guy just trolling. How do I get the client to create his hosting account? I already have the website, but he doesn't give a place where to use it. Well, there's a process. I was just about to say, just check out my freelance course. I discuss all that kind of stuff. But you got to get them to get the hosting going. And you encourage them to get their hosting going by having them pay you portions in advance. So they have money on the table. If they don't have money on the table, they're not going to be motivated to get anything done. So, yeah, just make it easy. You would recommend a host to them. Say, you go to this company and you go see any hosting company. They'll be able to give you an affiliate coupon so you can make some money there. And then say, sign up for this program here and let me know, send me your credentials. So you can send them to that hosting company. Are you looking forward to the MacBook Air M2? I have the MacBook Air right here. Amazing computer. It's my travel computer. I'm not rushing to get it. I'm actually looking forward to I'm going to get myself an iPad just to do some more music. Very weird in the response pattern to the comments. How we do it? I'll answer a few more questions. Already 40 minutes in. Hey, how are you, man? Hope everything is well. Okay. How do you go about landing their first freelance client? I think I covered that. Thank you for streaming, long-time watcher. Well, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hope your mentor program continues to grow. All the best. I appreciate that. Thank you. What do you think about Romania for development? I don't know. I don't live in Romania. I'm not sure what you mean in that regard. Job opportunities? Just you can look that up. I code for fun. I know JavaScript, Java, Python, C#, Kotlin, and Go. I just make trivial projects with them now. I'm considering applying for a coding job. What path would you recommend? I just mentioned it. Obviously, the comments lag way behind a lifetime. Yeah, it seems that way, yeah. I'm glad I could help. Thank you. What projects would you recommend for Java? Depends on what you want to do. Do you want to do mobile? Do you want to do full stack? Hi, I'm learning Java by myself as a first program. What do you think about Mr. Stefan? That's cool. Java's a good language. It might be a bit challenging because there's a lot to do there, but that's cool. Which one of your courses should I sign up for to prepare? To prepare for what? My web stack course is the best deal out there. Check it out, Complete Web Developer. It says, so once you complete all your courses, so can you apply for full stack positions? Once you complete this foundations, you build your demo website, and then you go out and you do 2 to 3 small little jobs for freelance, for little companies. Then you can start applying. Like I've commented, I've obtained the JavaScript certification, announced my boss, and I want to remake the company's website I'm working for. Very cool. Nice. Good job, man. Sir Stefan, what do you think about Kubernetes for application deployments? I don't have a particular comment either way. I'm just learning PHP, and it's pretty fun coming from vanilla JavaScript. Hey, very cool. Yeah, once you learn the first language, all the other ones become much, much easier. That's for sure. All right, guys. Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. It's almost 50 minutes. Almost 40 minutes. And I will let you go. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate the thumbs. I hope this video was informative, and we'll talk soon. This is Cape Elizabeth, Maine.
Uh-huh.